All right, guys, so this is for the finger knitters that are ready for the next challenge if you want to go on from there. This is once you have learned how to finger knit and you make a length of finger knitting. This is just, I stopped at the end of a row here and I'm doing a short little small piece because I don't have much yarn, and so hopefully I'll have enough to show you how to do this. But you can make yours go until you'd like to finish. So essentially, if you wanted to try and make like a scarf or something, then you could go a little bit longer, and then the piece that you would be making would come out and grow as this next part I'll show you for as long as you want. So if you want to just try it at first, though, this might be a good way to do it, is to have just like a small, maybe 3 to 6 inch length piece of finger knitting, and then we can go from here. So at this point, when you have reached the length that you want to stop and you want to start growing it out this way, then what you're going to do is, just like I showed you, I believe, in the finger knitting video, you are going to take this loop, put it onto your middle finger. You're going to drop that one off, transfer this one onto your ring finger, drop that one off, and then transfer it over onto your pinky, and then drop that one off. Now, at this point, this is where if you were just ending your work, we would just take this off and bring the end of the yarn through, but we're not. We're adding onto this and making it grow out. So we are going to take this off of our pinky and we're going to put it back on to our pointer finger like this now. So you can kind of see that your work is right there, and that goes to the back just like that. Now what you're going to do is you are going to take this working yarn, you call the working yarn the yarn that's still attached to the ball, and I have, you keep it in between your hand here and the work behind you. So you don't ever want it to be hanging off that way. You want to keep it sandwiched in between your hand and your stitching. So with the working yarn, what you're going to do now is go ahead and come up this way, and you are going to re-thread your fingers back and forth until, remember, these at least need 2 on them. This one has 2, and I'll tell you about that in a second, but these still need a second one to leapfrog over, so we're still going. So here's that one, and now it needs to come. I'm going to pull these down just a little bit. So this one still doesn't have a second one, so got to cut back. And there we go. Now, what you'll see here is that this one, instead of 2, it has 3, and that's supposed to be that way. So all the other ones, though, have 2. So what we do in this case is we take the bottom one and we leapfrog over both of these to get it off. So I'm going to pick it up, bend my finger, drop it off. Now they all have 2. So we're going to start and do it again. Now this one jumps over just like that, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one, just like that. And then what you're going to do is kind of squish them all down to give yourself some room. And then here's our working yarn, our stitching, our working yarn, and our hand. So the working yarn's in the middle, which is where it's supposed to be. Now what you're going to do here is you are going to pick this up, pick your stitching up, and if I kind of spread my fingers on the back so that it spreads it out to the side, I can see the entire piece of stitching. This yarn right here is attached to this stitch on the side. It's a little hard to see, but you can see that it's kind of attached right there. So we are actually going to be picking up the next loop down here. Now, if you don't get the exact right one, I actually think it's okay. But you can do your best. So what I'm doing is I'm coming here. I actually see 2 pieces of yarn. Either of those loops I actually think would work. I'm going to choose the bottom one. So I'm going to grab a hold of that loop right there, and I am going to lift it up and put it on my pointer finger. All right, I still have my yarn, my working yarn right here. The project is back here. So I now need to re-thread my fingers again. So here I go. Over, back, there, 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 and there. So again, sorry, this is just where I had to tie 2 together. So there's a little knot, but I have 2 again on each front finger except the first finger, which has the 3 again. And that's how we always want to start when we're doing this kind. So bottom leaps over both of them, like that. And then you got to get, you're back to 2 on each of them. So here we go, down to 1. And then let's do it to this finger, there, this finger, there, and this finger there. Now all of this is going to start, it'll look normal, but the longer you work at it, then it'll all start to kind of make sense. So right now it kind of looks like a jumbled mess a little bit, but just kind of trust that it's there. So again, I'm looking at my work here, working yarn here, fingers here, so there's a little working yarn sandwich. And now I am looking, this one right here, this piece of yarn is attached to that last stitch, so I go below that.